Hi everyone, I'm Daniel Thejus. As we begin this year, I want us to think about these very heavy words. The glory of the Lord has departed. Let those words sink in. The glory of the Lord has departed. As many of you know, these words are found in Ezekiel chapter 10. Why has the glory of the Lord departed? Now, as you read the entire book of Ezekiel, God finds that his people have lost their way. They've become wicked, they've become evil, no justice, they don't care for the orphans, the widows. And who is to blame for this condition of the Israelites? They are the shepherds of Israel. The very people that God had appointed have failed to do their responsibility. So much so, the people in Israel now are beginning to think that God doesn't care if they do something that's wrong. God doesn't care for their immorality because he doesn't seem to do anything. And so, to some extent, it feels as though they have already exiled God. And God, sort of responding to their desire to exile him, he departs. And so those poignant words and those very weighty words are found in Ezekiel chapter 10, where it says, the glory of the Lord has departed. But then the glory of the Lord departs, but he doesn't stop there. Before he departs, he says that he will now come and he will shepherd his people. Not that he's going to appoint shepherds now. He's sort of disappointed that these shepherds who he had appointed, instead of helping and feeding their sheep, they have merely fed themselves and have become fat. And so he says, I will now shepherd you. And so that's where Ezekiel sort of ends. Now fast forward to the New Testament. We've just celebrated Christmas. God enters into this world as Jesus. So what does that mean? The glory of the Lord has now come back. It has come back into this world. And God keeps his promise. He himself has now come to shepherd his people. What a lovely thought, yeah? That no matter what happens in our life, no matter what we've done in the past, God still leaves a glimmer of hope in each one of our lives. And so this year, as you enter this year, I want us to remember that the glory of the Lord has returned. There is hope for you. No matter what you've been through, no matter what you've done, God's glory has come and there is hope for you. But then what did people do with Jesus? They put him on a cross and they sent him away. They put him on a cross and they wanted to get rid of him. Again, something similar to what people did in Ezekiel, people did to Jesus again. They wanted to get rid of him. But this time, the glory of the Lord doesn't depart. Why? Because the glory of the Lord now rests in each one of us. Through the power of the Holy Spirit, God's glory rests in each one of us. And so now what do? We are now able to go out and spread God's glory wherever you are. If you're studying in a school, in a college, in a university, or if you're working, wherever it is that you're working, whatever that it is that you do, you are now carrying God's glory with you. So it is as though God's glory now is in the very place that you are. What a great responsibility we now have and we can carry, that the glory of the Lord now rests in each one of us. And so I'd encourage you this year, wherever you are, whatever it is that you're doing, realize that you are actually carrying God's glory. And we as a Christian community have this great responsibility of carrying God's glory wherever it is that we go. And to some extent, if you think about it, because God became human, now humanity is represented within the Trinity. And so now we have been sort of grafted into an unbroken relationship. Despite the fall, because of what Jesus did, we are now grafted into this unbroken relationship that God the Son has with God the Father and God the Holy Spirit. And so that's a very powerful thing for each one of us to think about. It's a very powerful thing that each one of us carries within us. And so to encourage us, wherever it is, whatever it is that you're doing, to know that you are actually holding on to this treasure and that you have the power to transform people's lives and to transform the environment that you live in and the world that you live in. And so this year, I'd encourage you again to go out and live with that power. Thank you.